Welcome to the 5 o'clock show. It's time for Common Sense. Now, it's Katz and Cosby with John Katzimatidis and Rita Cosby, standing for truth, justice, and the American way, bringing common sense to the world. Now, here's John Katzimatidis and Rita Cosby.
Go ahead. Make my day.
Well,
that was Clint Eastwood, but there's a reason we're playing it.
That's what Trump said to the rest of the gang.
Yes, he said if the hostages are not released, there is going to be hell to pay. He's talking, of course, about the ones in Israel, the ones taken from Israel, held by Hamas and others.
Let this go out to all intelligence sources, and I know you're listening. Trump says, make my day.
I love that. He said there will be hell to pay if they are not released by January 20th when he's back in the Oval Office.
They will see the 51 virgins sooner.
Oh, wow. That would be great. They deserve it.
Is it 51?
I thought it was like 40 something, but
how many virgins are there?
Not many left. But by the way,
no comment.
That's reminiscent of Reagan.
Yes.
Remember what happened with Reagan?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And of course, you guys, let's talk also this weekend. It came on the word of 2 Americans, Israeli Americans, but they're listed as Americans. They believe there's 4 alive, John, and one of them was like paraded out in a horrible propaganda footage. The good news is it looks like he's alive. He's a guy from New Jersey, and then there's a guy from New York who they determined just a few hours ago was killed.
When did President Biden ever make a statement like, bring them back now, or there's a price to be paid?
Yeah, or pound the fist on the table. Think about if had he done that on day one, maybe they would have been released, Judge Weinberg. I agree.
And he kept the Suez Canal, the Red Sea closed for how long?
Yeah.
For how long is it, Peter? 6 months, 7 months, 8 months?
Absolutely.
Oh, at least, yeah.
Inexcusable.
Ronald Reagan turned in his grave 600 times already.
Right. Yeah, it's incredible. Yeah. The weakness and what we've already seen. And the other thing, by the way, it also just came out recently that Trump is planning on calling, cartels, of course, which are running all the operations at the border, to call them terrorist organizations.
That's
so
then
they are. And go after them. The fact they're not.
That
Isn't
is overdue. Amazing? Long overdue.
It's another sign of make my day, right? That he is bringing it on and getting rid of all these horrible forces.
And is that 2 sides to the issue?
No.
Biden loved to say this side and that side, one hand, the other hand. No, there's no 2 sides.
In the next couple of days, that subway rescuer that rescued all those subway riders,
Daniel Penny,
the judge is going to make a decision, or the jury is going to make a decision. What say you, Peter? That's your area.
Yeah, that is an absolute disgrace. Actually, Tom Kniff, the lawyer, used to be a constituent of mine. No, that is an absolute disgrace. He should be getting the medal, whatever the highest medal the city can get. They should have given it to Daniel Penny. It's an absolute travesty of justice, disgrace that he's on trial. Alvin Bragg, for that alone, should be impeached and removed from office.
That case never should have been brought. Absolutely never should have been brought. And if I were the presiding Supreme Court judge, I would have thrown that case out right away.
It's preposterous. By the way, I want to tell everybody, closing arguments were today. So tomorrow it's probably going to go to the jury. 7 women, 5 men. And most of them all rode on a subway. So at least they can relate to how scary it was for the other passengers and also for Daniel Penny. And it turns out the guy was high as a kite. The Jordan Neely, the guy who died.
Now, what was the other breaking news?
The other breaking news is this is interesting, John. We knew that Kamala Harris did not do well. In fact, let's do a little breaking news sounder to lead into it.
Breaking news, WABC.
Kamala Harris, John, gets to become the first candidate since 1932.
That's almost 100 years.
Yet to not flip a single county. That's incredible, John.
Not a single county of the 3,144 counties.
Judge Weinberg is only 3 years old, and I think.
Oh, those are fighting words, Peter.
Peter and I were in a hospital at the same time.
The other breaking news in the New York Post today was the migrant crisis. Tell us about it, Rita.
Yeah. Oh, this is really amazing. They are saying, first of all, in the United States, over 670,000 migrants that have been convicted of a crime, serious crimes, or pending crimes. And in New York City alone, John, 58,000 criminal migrants and more than 1,000 gang members, according to ICE telling the New York Post. Pete, you think about what kind of damage 1,000 gang members in New York City alone. That is frightening.
You know, things are bad enough to begin with, and you have that unloaded on top of you. It's absolutely terrible. You have to blame Joe Biden. You have to blame Eric Adams for having a welcome wagon out for them.
And don't forget the state legislature.
Give me breaking
Let
news
them out.
one more time.
Oh, wait, we got some more breaking
News, WABC.
All right. This just coming in. I am pleased to announce, this is from Donald Trump, that Warren A. Stevens, the very successful businessman, will serve as U.S. ambassador to the Court of St. James.
Wow.
Yeah, that's really great. A role which he will act as our representative to the United
That's a big
Kingdom.
job. That's a big job.
That's a big job. That's obviously one of our close allies.
That and France is the biggest job.
Yeah, and France.
And how about Italy, too?
And France, by the way, went to, as you saw over the weekend,
But
it went to Jared Kushner's father.
You don't gain weight in France and you don't gain weight in England, but in Italy you gain weight.
Yeah, Italy, you gain a lot. Although there is good onion soup. Good onion soup in France. And good escargot.
Yep.
You know, you can't
I've
miss
never
that.
been in a more relaxing country than Italy. They eat and they sleep and they're happy.
Welcome to Spain.
Nobody has an okay.
Right.
Pete, I went to Spain. It was like, you want another tapa? You're like, could I have breakfast first? You know?
And dinner, it's not till 11 o'clock at night. I couldn't take that.
Yeah. Oh, it was crazy. It was crazy.
But
And,
right.
right.
Nap during the afternoon, get ready for dinner.
Yeah, the siesta.
Right.
The long, long siesta. Now, the other thing, too, you guys, other big news as we're talking about
Honey,
positions.
You know what I like?
What?
Oh, wait. You know, did we talk about New York City, the breaking news in the New York Post?
Yeah, we did. Which one? The one about the migrants. Yes,
The
we
migrants.
did. Yes,
Okay,
we did.
good.
But you know what? Cash Patel is a New Yorker.
Oh,
yeah.
well,
Yes, you
Peter
Queen-
King, Congressman King,
Yeah,
you know him well.
Yes,
Tell
I do.
us about Cash Patel.
Yeah, I was on the Intelligence
The new
Committee.
FBI director.
Yeah, I was on the Intelligence Committee during that whole phony Russia investigation. Cash Patel was our staff director, did a phenomenal job. He's the one that tore apart the Steele dossier. He's the one who found out about the phony wiretapping that was going on. And he's really a solid guy. In an ordinary time, he may not be the guy you picked to be FBI director, but at times like this where you got to clean house, you got to shake things up. John is your type of guy. Total common sense, get everybody out of the way, and that's what he's going to do.
And
Great
a
guy.
New Yorker. And a New Yorker,
New York,
too.
Queens, Nassau County, smart guy, hardworking. He's like a bulldog. He won't stop, and he's smart though. A really, really smart guy.
Yeah, I knows a lot about
Congressman
intel.
King is endorsing him for FBI director. That's
Does that
good
mean?
enough.
Does that mean
That's
it's
good
good or
enough
bad?
for me?
That's good. That's great
Thank you,
enough
John.
for me.
Yeah,
That's
okay,
great
very
enough
good.
for me.
What's better, great or good?
I depends on the day.
I like the word great.
Now, my
too.
first choice is Judge Weinberg, but he couldn't afford to take the pay cut. So.
That's true.
correct.
That's true. Well, you know what? By the way, speaking of all the pardon stuff, we're going to get Miranda Devine on in 1 second here. But as we're waiting for Miranda, today we also have Andy McCarthy. He's going to talk about the legal aspects of the Hunter Biden pardon. We have Mark Meadows, former White House chief of staff.
And worked very well in Congress. Very solid guy.
Interesting. It's going to be interesting, Pete, to hear his perspective on all this. We also have former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo is coming up, and we're
Wow.
going to get
Whoa,
his
whoa,
take.
whoa,
This is
whoa.
going to be a great show.
Wait till you hear what Governor Cuomo has to say about what goes
The
on.
pardon.
The pardon.
I can't wait to
Make
hear
sure we
that.
keep Curtis out of the studio.
And Bill
We have him locked
O'Reilly.
out. We have Curtis locked out.
Yeah, we have him locked out. They're coming to take him away, remember? And Bill O'Reilly, we also have coming up here also on the show. He's going to be talking about that, Cash Patel and the Daniel Penny case. Did you see also President Trump coming out and saying, well, I'm going to start looking at all the January 6th cases and all these others because what happened with the Hunter Biden pardon
Don't
opens
say that
the
in
door.
front of Peter King.
Here we go. John,
Pete, your reaction, Pete. Your reaction, Pete.
I have no reaction. We all love each other. We all love each other.
That's right. We exhausted that topic last week.
Yeah, we did. But it's an interesting point that he makes just
No, you're
on,
right. Double
on other
standard.
cases.
Absolutely.
The double standard.
By
And-
the way, Biden and his remarks granting the pardon talked about the poor Hunter, the double standard. I think he's a beneficiary of his double
Absolutely.
standard.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I couldn't believe that Biden came out. And Pete, we talked about this.
Yeah.
When I first heard the pardon happen, I wasn't surprised because I felt like, okay, as a father, he's going to do it. The son had the sentencing date,
Right.
by the way, you guys, it was coming up in about a week and a half, 2 weeks. Right. So he had a narrow window to do it for a lot of reasons. So I wasn't surprised. But then I see the statement saying,
Right.
if his name wasn't Hunter, he never would have been targeted. He's a victim of persecution.
Now, the bottom
From
line
Biden?
is, he shouldn't have done it, but I understood it. I'm a father. Maybe I would have done the same thing. It's hard to say you're going to let your son stay in jail. But he should have done it from the point of view, my son made a lot of bad mistakes. He did a lot of wrong things. He was guilty of these crimes, but I believe he's changed his life around. And because of that, I'm doing this part. Instead, he made out he's a victim.
Right.
Take advantage of the exclusive holiday offer at Panorama Optical. Enjoy 15% off prescription glasses. And with every $500 spent on glasses, receive a complimentary pair of frames. Absolutely free. Don't miss this limited time deal running until January 1st, 2025 for eyeglasses, contact lenses, and to put your life in focus. Visit 241 Broadway in Lynbrook, New York, or call Panorama Optical at 516-341-0297 to schedule your appointment today. 516-341-0297.